So yesterday it was reported that Lewandowski is going to be out for a good amount of time. He is going to be missing the Clasico and he's going to be out for more than a month. And this is according to Tony Juan Marti, meaning that because Lewandowski is injured, Pedri, Frankie, Rafinha are also injured, which does equal a total of 4 important players out for FC Barcelona. Now there has been reports about Pedri and Frankie making it in time for the Clasico, but as of now it does seem like these 4 players won't be there. Now again, there could be a miracle within these next 2 weeks and we can hear that Pedri and Frankie are going to be back in about 10 to 11 days. We never know. There has been rumors and reports about those 2 players coming in very early specifically. So everything is up in the air, but it's just the fact that we have 4 important players out is very concerning. Now luckily tomorrow we will be playing against Granada. It's not going to be the hardest game that Barcelona is going to be playing because they are one of the weakest in La Liga so far. And also this is going to be Barcelona's last game before we go into the international break, and Barcelona will be having a 2-week break. And again, we never know what could happen within those 2 weeks. Pedri and Frankie could come back. Maybe Lewandowski also sees another miracle and he returns back from injury in exactly 2 weeks and just in time for the Clasico. We never know. But as for tomorrow against Granada, I think that Barcelona still have the capability to win. We just have to put the strongest 11 possible and make an 11 that does make sense. So what does this mean, right? With Lewandowski being out and Ferran Torres being the only option to play in the number 9 role, who else could we bring in? So there were reports about Angel Alarcon coming in to the first team and being called up to the squad list to reinforce Lewandowski's position. Now I don't know if you guys remember this player, but he was coming up in the same time of Alejandro Balde. I believe it was back in 2021 when Alejandro Balde, Alarcon, and Alex Collado were being named as the next big gems coming from La Masia. But unfortunately only one really made it out of those 3 players. Collado went to a different club. I believe he went to Qatar. And then as for Angel Alarcon, he has yet to really make a big impact in the youth teams in order for Xavi Hernandez to call him up. He has been doing solid, but not like extraordinary. Like he has not been over exceeding the expectations like Lamine Yamal. So he is a 19-year-old left winger and he did suffer a very serious injury back in May earlier this year, and it was reported that he was going to be out for a few months. But recently he just came back about 4 to 5 to maybe even 7 days ago, and he scored against Porto earlier this week in the youth leagues, and he scored a golazo. He was able to take down about 4 to 5 players. So he really did look healthy. He looked motivated. He looked like he was ready to take on any new obstacles that was in front of him. So we're like, okay, great. We're gonna have Angel Alarcon, who has been with us for the past like few years. He's gonna be coming to the first team. Maybe he can make a big impact with Barcelona in the first team and so forth, right? But here's the thing. There is a huge plot twist to all of this, and I don't know if you guys have heard about Angel's current condition, but he has yet again received another injury, and a new injury that has nothing to do with the injury that he got back in May, meaning that he is no longer an option. Now it says here, according to Relevo, that Angel Alarcon is one of the players who Xavi and the coaches are taking into account the most. Depending on Lewandowski's time out, he could make the return to the first team, and this is prior to before he got that new injury. Then as we continue here, at another point in the season, he would have been in the first team squad definitely with the injuries currently being held, but he himself is just returning from a serious injury and the coaches are willing to find out how many minutes he can actually play. So that was the whole story. He was going to be called up, but because he got a new injury, he is no longer going to be featuring in the squad list against Granada. So it says here, according to Tony Juan Marti, that Alarcon suffered a new muscle injury in his left leg and the club estimates that he will be out for about 4 to 5 weeks. This injury has nothing to do with the previous injury, and at Barcelona they were delighted with his level since his return, but because he got injured, he will no longer be there. Now here's the key point. In fact, Angel was on the horizon to join the first team and will continue to be once he does return. So even though he has this second new injury this year, Barcelona are still thinking about calling him up into the first team and making him a first team member, which is very interesting because it makes me think that maybe Xavi Hernandez is starting to find out that Lewandowski cannot play in every game and he does need other backups. So we are going to be seeing Alarcon feature into the first team very soon, maybe later this year, but definitely not in the game against Granada tomorrow where he was originally supposed to be appearing. So what does this mean, right? Now that we have Lewandowski out, we have Alarcon also out, who was our plan B. Who do we go for next? And the name that did come up, it is Pau Victor. And it says here, according to Albert Rogue, that everything suggests that Pau Victor will be called up by Xavi Hernandez for the game against Granada. He's the striker best positioned to come up to the first team with Lewandowski being out injured. He is the Pichichi of Rafa Marquez Barcelona athletic side. So this is very, very interesting to hear because I don't know if you guys know who this player is, but he's very much new, like so new that he wasn't even with us 2 months ago. So he is much more of a number 9 compared to Angel Alarcon because Angel Alarcon can play as a left winger, but Pau Victor does have more time as a number 9 and more experience. He's 21 years old, like he is 2 years older than Angel, but still, he is a new face and a new name to this Barcelona team. He joined us 1 month ago, and he is coming from Girona, a team that is currently in 3rd place in La Liga. Girona also have Eric Garcia and Pablo Torre. So even though we did strengthen Girona, they still gave us one striker, and that is Barcelona B's best striker, which is Pau Victor. He currently does have 4 goals and has 1 assist. He's very good offensively in terms of aerial duels, so he can score goals with his head. He can dribble fast with the ball and go on the counter, so I can already imagine him running with the ball with Alejandro Balde and Joao Felix. They all have the pace to produce great counterattacks. He has 1v1 ability, meaning that he can go up against the goalkeeper, he can go up against a player, a center back in the opposition's half. So it's very interesting because a player like Lewandowski cannot do this, and he has fast decision making ability, meaning that every time he has the ball in the middle of the pitch, he can make those fast passes to either Joao Felix or Alejandro Balde or maybe Lamine Yamal and speed up the play. We talked about how when Lewandowski is in situations like this, he switches the ball in a very slow way. Like, he's just too slow in reacting to what the other players are doing around him. Pau Victor has a much different flow and a faster flow with the ball. Now, the only question that I do have though is, can he arrive inside the box in the correct time and in the correct spaces? Something that Lewandowski is really good at. Now, not all strikers are going to be having everything that we do need. Like, the fact that I'm still questioning what Pau can bring and what Lewandowski is good at. We don't have strikers, right, in the world of football that has everything that a number 9 should have, unless you're Luis Suarez or Ronaldo Nazario. So I'm really wondering whether this guy is good at arriving inside the box at the correct moment to receive those crosses from either Lamine Yamal or maybe Ferran Torres or maybe Joao Felix or Alejandro Balde, whoever's on the pitch. Can he make those correctly timed arrivals inside the box? So this is a moment, right, because this could be a moment for us to bring a brand new face to Europe. Could this be a blessing, right? And when I mean by blessing, I mean, like, could this youngster take advantage of this opportunity? Because with Dembele's exit and going to PSG, it was a blessing in disguise in order for us to introduce Lamine Yamal. With Coutinho going to a different club, that was a blessing in disguise because it led towards the introduction of Pedri. With Jordi Alba being injured back in 2022 for about 2 or 3 months, that led towards Alejandro Balde getting his time on the left back position, and he took advantage of that time, and that is why we have Alejandro Balde as one of the best left backs in the world. It was a blessing in disguise. Could this also be a blessing in disguise with Lewandowski being injured, knowing that right now it's almost like the end of the world, right? Because we need our world-class number 9. What if Pau comes in and scores a couple of goals? So this could be a blessing. We never know. He just needs to take advantage of this opportunity. He needs to know the type of situation that he is in and what the other players around him have done to get a place in the starting 11. So let me know if you guys are excited. Are you guys excited to see Pau Victor get some time against Granada if he does get called up, because we have yet to see the squad list? But if he does, do you guys want to see him? And what do you expect from this striker? Because again, he's very new. Who knows what this player could become? He joined us 1 month ago and he's scoring 4 goals and provided 1 assist with Barcelona B. Could he be too good for Barcelona B? And maybe he just could be ready for the first team. Let me know in the comment sections down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.